Hello YouTube, it's me, Prodigious, and we're back again. Now last time we looked at Alphamon, but now we're going to look at his evil twin brother, DeathXmon. Let's get into it. So starting off for our eggs, we're going to actually use Dorugoramon egg from BT13. He has, when attacking, if this Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, draw 1. And then the only non-X antibody we have in this deck is 4 copies of Promo Sonorizamon. He has your turn, all of your black Digimon with 13,000 DP or more gain piercing. Inheritable effect is your turn while this Digimon is black and has 13,000 DP or more, it gains security type +1. Then we're running 4 copies of Dorugoramon. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with X antibody against traits and 1 Kota among them to your hand. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Inheritable is your turn once per turn. When one of your effects places a Digivolution card under this Digimon, gain 1 memory. Please note that if you have a source, you have a stack, and you insert this and there's no other copies, or if there is other copies, either way, when this goes in, it will see itself, so you will gain a memory. Next, we have 4 copies of Dorugoramon from BT9. He has on play, you may trash 1 card with X antibody in its traits in your hand to redraw 2 cards. Then, for level 4s, we're running Dorugoramon, pardon. He has a hard play cost of 4, so easy to play if you can't get a rookie out there. He has an inheritable effect of all turns. While this Digimon has X antibody in its traits, get up 1,000 DP. Then we're running 4 copies of Dorugoramon from BT7. He has opponent's turn. While this Digimon has an X antibody trait in its sources, or while another Digimon in play with X antibody in its traits, he gains blocker. As well as an inheritable of all turns, while this Digimon has X antibody in its traits, you get 1,000 DP. Then we have Dex Dorugoramon, who can Digivolve on top of Dorugoramon for 0. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex or Death X in its name or X antibody in its traits in your hand to gain 1 memory. As well as when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Dorugoramon in its Digivolution cards or is Digivolving from the trash, which this deck can do, one of your Digimon gains blocker and retaliation for the turn, or until the end of your opponent's turn anyway. Then we have a single copy of Dorugoramon. When Digivolving, you may place 1 black card with X antibody and its traits from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent the effects from deleting it and reducing its DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. As well as an inheritable of while this Digimon has X antibody in its traits, it gets security type +1. Then I'm running 4 copies of BT13 Dorugoramon. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Place 1 card with the X antibody trait among them as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. If a card was added by this effect, this Digimon's DP can't be reduced until the end of your opponent's next turn. Trash the rest. Inheritable. End of your turn. Once per turn, you may place 1 Digimon card with X antibody trait from your hand as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. Then, 3 copies of Dex Dorugoramon can Digivolve from Dorugoramon for 1. When Digivolving, you may trash 1 card with Dex or Death X in its name or X antibody in its traits from your hand to gain 1 memory. When digivolving, if this Digimon has Dorugoramon in its Digivolution cards or is digivolving from the trash, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Now for our Megas. We are running 3 copies of BT7 Dorugoramon. And he is a powerhouse. He has your turn. For each card with X antibody in its traits in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, it gets a plus 1000 DP. As well as when attacking once per turn, you may place 1 card with X antibody in its traits from your hand at the bottom of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to delete up to 2 different opponent's Digimons with play costs less than or equal to the Digimon's Digivolution cards. So in other words, the more sources you get underneath him, the more you can delete a opponent's Digimon. And then we have his corrupted evil form, Dorugoramon. He digivolves from Dorugoramon for 2. He has when digivolving. If this Digimon has Dorugoramon in its Digivolution cards or is digivolving from the trash, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. Then he has on deletion. You may play 1 purple or black level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. If you have 5 or more cards with Dex or DeathX in their names in your trash, you may play 1 DeathXmon from your trash without paying the cost. And then we are running 2 copies of the level 7 DeathXmon. Now this monster of a card normally costs 20 to play, but it does say that when you would play this card, reduce memory cost by 3 for each Digimon and Tamer your opponent has in play. So it is possible to just hard play this guy, which what makes him so popular as something to be splashed into a lot of decks. But I prefer to have him in his own original deck because that means you're not only able to hard play him, but you could potentially evolve into him, or, as you've already seen, can play him from trash. Now he does have an on-play when digivolving of de-digivolve 1 all of your opponent's Digimon, then delete all of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Then he has end of opponent's turn once per turn, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Now we're on to our Tamers. We are running 2 copies of Kota. He's our memory fixer, so if you're at 2 or less at the start of your turn, go to 3. He has on play, reveal top 4, add 1 Digimon card with X antibody, or actually not even a Digimon card, but just add 1 card with X antibody. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then we are running not 1, not 2, but 3, 4 copies of Yuji. Now this one says that when one of your Digimon with X antibody in its traits is moved from the breeding area to the battle area, gain a memory and draw a card. We are stacking up on this because we want to gain a lot of memory when we push out of raising, along with a bunch of card draw. Then, of course, he has the ability of when our black Digimon with X antibody in its traits attacks, we can suspend this to place a Digimon with X antibody in its traits from our hand under that Digimon as its bottom source. So we have even more ways to gather up more resources underneath our Dorugoramon so that we can pop big targets. Now onto the options. Now we are running 2 copies of DeathX Digivolution. This card says that while you have a Digimon with X antibody and its traits in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements, so that helps out. Then it has your main effect of you may digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card with Dex or DeathX and its name from your trash for its memory cost. Security effect is to add this card to the owner's hand. So that's going to help us be able to recycle some of our stuff in trash, or even just Evo from the trash whenever we've had the pitch cards. Now, with that being said, we are going to be going through a lot of cards in our hand. So to help refuel that, I am running a single copy of Metal Cannon. This option card's security effect says to add this card to your owner's hand. Main effect is to choose one of your Digimon with X antibody in its traits, then draw one card for each of that Digimon's Digivolution cards. So while we're building up a lot of sources underneath a stack, we can go ahead and play this to replenish our hand. Then, just for the fun of it, I'm running 2 copies of X Digivolution. Now, note it actually does have the X antibody trait, so it is something that we can grab through our tamers and the like. This option card says while you have a Digimon with X antibody in its traits, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. It also says main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card with X antibody in its traits among them without paying its memory cost. Trash the rest. Then place one card with X antibody in its traits from your trash under one of your Digimon with X antibody in its traits as bottom Digivolution card. So this card is going to help us potentially Digivolve plus add a source. And it could even help us put a little bit of some cards in the trash. All 3 things we actually want in this deck. Now, its security effect is you may reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add one card with X antibody and its traits among them to your hand and trash the rest. And then finally, we are going to run some more removal in this deck in the form of Metal Impulse. Now, this card says trash up to 3 cards in your hand. For each card trashed by this effect, de-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Security effect is to activate the main effect. But that is it. That's our take for a pure DeathXmon deck. Like I said, I know a lot of people tend to splash Death X as their top end / level 7 in a lot of decks. But Death X is not only super expensive to probably buy on the secondary market, I just happen to be lucky enough to pull a couple of copies from my booster boxes. But between that, and like I said, I just feel like he does better in his own deck, that he can be dedicated to actually getting DeathXmon. But that has been it. We're going to have one more segment for X Antibody Week. And I will see you next time.